Blue Box Recycling is coming to Prince George this fall. The organization responsible for providing the service announced the program in Prince George and Quesnel yesterday, but there are still a lot of questions around how the program will be delivered.
In the past decade, recycling has become more popular, with bins like these scattered throughout the city. But come September, Multi-Material BC will be responsible for curbside recycling in the city.
They've had a proponent that they've now selected, and that's Terra Environment Waste Management. And they'll be proceeding with the actual curbside recycling for the City of Prince George and for the City of Quesnel. The contract with Terra will begin in September. They're slated to start for September 1st. We're hoping they'll be able to actually begin on time. And then we'll see them actually rolling out curbside recycling for the entire city.
Waste management is the responsibility of the Regional District of Fraser-Fort George. It was about to embark on its own plan recently.
We're delighted to see that a curbside program is going to be introduced for Prince George. It was one of the recommendations in our regional solid waste management plan. We had brought forward some scenarios for our board to consider, and then almost at that exact same time, the legislation was introduced where the responsibility moves to producers. So we halted our plans, but nonetheless, we're thrilled to see that a program like that is coming.
However, there are still many questions from the regional district about how curbside recycling, if at all, will be provided in communities outside the City of Prince George.
It seems that they're talking about a curbside program for Prince George. The regional district has a drop depot program to provide recycling services to our outlying regional communities. And so we're waiting for some information about how MMBC plans to deal with that aspect of it.
As for residents within city limits, the impacts come September will be minimal, with MMBC handling the work.
There were some very stiff penalties if we were not hitting the contamination rates of 3%, when we saw that our neighboring communities like Kamloops and Kelowna were hitting the 7% to 9%. So that's the first concern we had. So this allows us to actually have curbside recycling in our community with no additional cost to the city and no direct cost to the citizens of Prince George, which is excellent.
However, the program, as set out by MMBC, only applies to single-family dwellings. It does not include commercial properties or those in multi-dwellings. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.